by changing the lifestyle and eating healthier. Now, when you eat for your health, your weight loss journey will take care of itself.
In your experience, what is the biggest challenge for people who want to lose unwanted weight and keep it off for good?
Exercise to lose weight is a myth. 95% of our body weight is based on what we put into our mouth.
Welcome to the show, where we discuss time-tested and science-supported tools for better health, long life, and pleasures.
If you're trying to lose weight, but after many attempts you didn't succeed, then watch this episode to learn a magic formula that allowed our guest to lose 50 pounds in just 4 months and keep it off for good. I'm Vivian Zeltzer, and for over 3 decades, I researched, practiced, and hunted for natural stimulants for better health, longevity, and pleasures. In the process, I discovered many time-tested and science-supported remedies and met numerous experts who, together with me, share their knowledge in this show. Because, as Hippocrates said in the 4th century BC, if you are not your own doctor, you are a fool. Our guest today is David Medansky, who devised an effective plan that enabled him to lose a quarter of his body weight in just 4 months. And the best part is to keep it off for good. He shares his remarkable success formula in his books and workshops. And these days, he is known as the Health. Welcome to the show, David.
Thank you, Lily. I appreciate being a guest today.
Lovely to see you in 2025. I hope you enjoyed your holidays, David. Well, some people say, why to lose weight? I feel comfortable being overweight, and my husband, wife, lover, whatever, says, I love you the way you are. Remember in times of Rubens, fat bodies represented beauty and fertility. But those times are gone. And these days, we know better than that. According to the World Health Organization, being overweight is a chronic and complex disease that can impact health, relationships, career, sex drive, fertility, lifestyle, quality of life, and so on and so on, and of course, longevity. However, many overweight people don't take it seriously. What motivated you, David, to lose weight?
Well, my wake-up call came in July of 2016 at the age of 61 when my doctor told me, based on my lab results and that I was fat, I had a 95% chance for a fatal heart attack. Now, normally being in the 95 percentile is something good, not, however, when it's a death sentence. So with that, I took action. And as you mentioned, during the next 4 months, I shed 50 pounds, which was 25% of my total body weight. More importantly, I've kept it off. And what I did is I changed my eating habits and lifestyle. Because when I was in my 20s and 30s, like most people, I was fit and trim, could eat whatever I want. However, as life goes on, we have family responsibilities and work obligations. And before I knew it, I stopped exercising, started eating convenient foods, fast foods, and the weight crept up on me. And when you're gaining 5 or 10 pounds each year, it's not noticeable. However, after 5 or 10 years, you've gained 50 pounds. And so it's very unhealthy. And I did something about it because I wanted to live longer. And not only that, I want to be a participator in life, not a spectator. What I mean by that is I want to get able to do things and enjoy things, either with kids or grandkids, or just by myself with my spouse, where we go on trips and vacations. So not just sitting around watching others be physically active.
Well, it's remarkable that you took it so seriously. Many people who are desperate to lose weight, they try all different stressful methods to lose weight, but then they gain it back.
90% of people who lose weight on a diet gain it all back within a year, some even more. I know firsthand that when I lost weight on a diet, I gained it back because my doctor gave me two options when he was talking to me: lose weight or find a new doctor. So I was very embarrassed, very frustrated. I understand how people feel. I understand the challenges. The difference is by changing the lifestyle and eating healthier. Now, when you eat for your health, your weight loss journey will take care of itself.
So it is more than just to exhaust yourself with exercises and diets. It's something else to it. And you
Oh,
will.
yeah. Exercise to lose weight is a myth. 95% of our body weight is based on what we put into our mouth. However, exercise and physical activity is very important for overall health and fitness. So that's what happens is people go to the gym expecting to lose weight, and then they start converting fat to muscle. And fat and muscle weigh the exact same thing. 5 pounds is 5 pounds. However, they get on the scale 2 or 3 weeks later and the scale still says the same. So they get frustrated and they stop, not realizing that their clothes are looser, they're having more energy, better cognitive ability, and they don't keep going. And so I had a client that experienced that after 3 weeks. He says, the scale says the same. And I asked him, are you exercising more? He says, yes, I'm riding my bike, 5 miles a day. I'm walking. I said, well, how do your clothes feel? He says, well, they're loose. And people are asking me if I'm losing weight. However, the scale says I'm not. Well, the scale is lying to you. Go by how your clothes feel and how they fit and how your energy is. And a couple weeks later, then the scale started dropping. So that's the small little changes that may seem inconsequential. If you do them continuously and for a long period of time, that's when you get the noticeable results. You didn't gain your weight overnight. Why would you expect to lose it overnight? So that's what I tell people. And then people are on the GLP-1, the Ozempics, the Wegovy. Those are drugs. Those are temporary. They have a lot of negative side effects. And when you stop them and they're expensive, then all the weight comes back. And I've identified what I call 9 simple golden rules for losing weight. And when I tell people and share the 9 simple golden rules, they're like, I know that. I understand. The question is, are you doing it? And most people say no. Then the question is, well, why aren't you doing what you need to do to be healthy? And so now your priorities come in. You ask people what's your, top priorities. Most people say, I want good health. When you observe what they're doing, they're not doing anything for good health. So the other thing is, a friend of mine, her name is Michaela Gaffenstone, has a quote. It says, the food companies will get you sick, big pharma will keep you sick, and the weight loss and diet industries are aiding and abetting both of them. And that's what's going on. People think they're eating healthy when they're not. They think they're, going to be given certain things to make them healthy when they're not. It's all deceptive marketing tactics. Cheerios is not heart healthy, even though it says American Heart Association Heart Healthy endorsed. Cheerios paid the American Heart Association for that endorsement. So again, it's deceptive marketing tactics. And it's not the food we're eating now, it's what they've done to the food, especially here in the United States. It all started in the late 1970s when they started adding high fructose corn syrup to food products, made it sweeter, cheaper. Back then, before 1977, high fructose corn syrup didn't exist. And so they've adulterated our food. And that's where people think, low fat is healthy. No, it's not. It has olein in it, and olein was a drug and was previously named Olestra. Procter and Gamble had to change the name from Olestra to olein because before that they had put warning labels on the food products and people realized it was dangerous. So again, Procter and Gamble lobbied the FDA to take the warning label off because they paid them a lot of money. FDA agreed. Procter and Gamble removed it, but the damage was done, so they changed the name. And now aspartame, people are starting to realize that the artificial sweetener is dangerous. They're calling it amino sweet. And again, it's because people are getting alerted to the dangers. And so they rename it, and then people aren't aware of the new name. So again, you have to read ingredients. So real quickly, I'll go through the 9 simple golden rules for the audience, and then they can decide whether they're able to do it and whether they want to do it. Because it's not what we can do, it's what we will do. And so the first golden rule is to drink an adequate amount of water. And what I mean by that is 1/2 of your total body weight. Our bodies are made of 60 to 70% water, not soda or diet soda or fruit juices or milk or alcohol for that matter. So drink more water. And what happens a lot of times is when people think they're hungry, they're actually thirsty. Second golden rule is to avoid highly processed, ultra processed and manufactured foods. They contain a lot of chemicals and toxins. Golden rule number 3 is to eat real holistic whole foods. I just heard a quote from Jamie Oliver. It goes something like this: food doesn't contain ingredients. Real food is the ingredient. Golden rule number 4 is to eat smaller portions. Here in the States, our portion sizes have been supersized without people realizing it. In the 1900s, the average dinner plate was 9 inches in diameter. Today, it's 12 inches. In restaurants, it's 15 inches. Yet in Europe, except for the UK, an average size dinner plate is still 9 inches. So here I tell people to use salad plates instead of dinner size plates, which leads into golden rule number 5, to eat slower. So when you have less food, you want to eat slower so you can enjoy your food. Most of us have what I call mindless eating, where we go through the drive-through, we watch TV, we're working at our desk, and before we know it, the sandwich we have or the food we have is gone. It's like, where did it go? Well, you ate it without realizing it. And they're making the food addicting. So you're never satisfied. So when I say, bet you can't eat just one potato chip, it's not a dare, it's a fact. The food is scientifically engineered, and it's called bliss point. And it's a term coined by Howard Moskowitz, who worked in the food industries for 30 years. Golden rule number 6 is to get adequate sleep, at least 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. And golden rule number 7, I call it rest to digest. It's an intermittent fast. And that's just 12 hours of not eating. Some experts will say you need 14. Some will say 16. Again, what's best for you is what you should do. Most people can do intermittent fast if you stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed and you sleep for 7 to 8 hours. And when you get up, you drink 8 to 12 ounces. I drink 20 ounces of water. It rehydrates you. Water acts as an appetite suppressant. You don't eat your first meal, which is to break the fast, not breakfast, but to break the fast for 2 hours later. That's 12 to 13 hours. And then golden rule number 8 is think positive, because 80% of our thoughts are negative. So imagine if we turned it around and made our thoughts positive instead of negative. And the last one, very simple. Do physical exercise or activity 30 minutes a day. The best is walking. Walking's the most underrated physical activity you can do. Rebel Wilson, the actress, she lost 77 pounds in 1 year simply walking an hour each day. Now, I understand not everybody has an hour to devote to walking each day. However, Mindy Kaling lost weight. What she did is when she had a 10 or 15-minute break, instead of going on social media or texting friends, she'd walk 10 or 15 minutes 4 or 5 times throughout the day. Well, that's an hour, 40 minutes to an hour. So you can do it if you choose to. So those are the 9 simple golden rules. So usually that's what I ask people. Are there anything you're not able to do?
That's amazing. David, just looking at you, I remember you being bigger because I know you for years. Look at you now. Yes, of course. Well, you're older, but you look actually younger. Show us your muscles. It's amazing what you did with your body. I'm sure that your wife is very happy with your body now. Well, so the way I understand.
Well, actually, my wife is an angel, and she was very kind. When I was at 225 pounds, she was saying, "No, you look fine, honey."
Oh, Well, we always joke about being an angel. I say that my husband also not a human being.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
so I understand, David, that it is not extreme diets, appetite suppressing drugs, medications, psychedelics, painful surgeries, costly hypnosis, exhausting exercise routines, and so on, or moving to country and growing your own food. It is state of mind when you decide to change your lifestyle and keep it going no matter what. Say no to a piece of cake that your colleague offers you, or be strong enough to crunch apple instead of looking at a burger. Is it correct?
Yeah, exactly. It's choices. And usually I tell people when they offer me something, more for you, or it'll look better on you than me, or better in the trash than on my ass.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
And the other thing is, as you said, being physically fit has benefits because at age 67, a couple of years ago, I was able to hike up Mount Kilimanjaro. So when people say they're too old to do anything, I dismiss that because as long as we're upright and breathing, we're never too old.
wow. Well, tell us a little more about that trip to Tunisia, isn't it? Kilimanjaro is a
Yeah.
low peak mountain with very difficult uh, steep sides. Well, how did you climb it? What did you do?
It was 8 days. I was with a group and we had guides. You have to have a guide there. It's in Africa, in Tanzania. And so it was very exhilarating. It was exhausting. However, I was very proud that I was able to accomplish it. And, you know, parts of it were fun
Yeah.
and parts of it weren't so much fun, especially when it's cold and freezing.
Yeah, it's still fun, and the campfires and the smell of food, and it's so strong, it's so beautiful, and the crispy air.
Yeah.
On my last expedition to Africa, I visited Mauritania, where I met a cook responsible for preparing drinks used in a ritual called leblo. It's a practice aimed to fatten young women to make them more attractive to men, because in that region, being fat is a sign of beauty and prosperity and fertility, which is important in those conditions.
Yeah. More cushion for the pushing, right?
Yeah, the fattening process involves young women being force-fed with that drink of gallon of that consists of yaki. I actually tried a little bit. It's a camel milk mixed with millet or rice, peanut oil, and animal fat, and they have to stay on it for consecutive 14 days to fat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We certainly don't want to try any of that.
No, no.
In your experience, what is the biggest challenge for people who want to lose unwanted weight and keep it off for good? What is something that can make them do it?
The biggest challenge is getting started. We all procrastinate. I'll do it after the weekend on Monday. I'll do it after the holidays. I'll do it after this vacation, or we're going out for dinner if it's a special event. So we make excuses of when we're going to start. And I have a saying, if you put off till tomorrow what can be done today, and tomorrow never comes, you'll never do what you need to do to get done. And so that's the important thing, is just start. And once you start, be consistent. You don't have to be perfect. Just be consistent. So if you have a bad day where you overindulge, don't beat yourself up, to start back over again. One of the stories in my book is an airplane story. And it says if you are off 1 degree from traveling from Los Angeles to New York or vice versa by an airplane, you'll be off 266 miles. And during the flight, the plane is usually on autopilot. And it's correcting, 90 to 95% of the time. Well, think of your health journey and weight loss journey as always course correcting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of people blame bad mood or stress for binge eating, for seafood diets where they see and eat everything and anything they find. How do you incorporate that into your formula?
Well, when you're stressed, there's a couple things you can do. One, you can go for a walk because that usually relieves stress. You can call a friend or a buddy and say, hey, I'm thinking about, this, or I'm upset. This is why, and talk it out. You can write a note to yourself in a journal to express your feelings. You can substitute the bad food for healthy food. Like you said, eat an apple, eat a pear, eat the whole orange, avoid orange juice because it's loaded with sugar, it's processed, and orange takes 4 to 8 medium oranges, to make one glass of orange juice. Would you eat 4 to 8 oranges at one time? No, but that's how much sugar you're putting in your body with one glass of orange juice. And people think it's healthy because of the commercials. So there's little things that people can do if they want to. The other thing is read a book, get some books on, healthy eating and healthy lifestyles, and read a couple pages until you calm down. What I found, I used to think that stress was the number one reason people overate. Since then, I've changed my position. I heard a medical doctor talking about it and other people. In my opinion, it is convenience because it's easier to go through a drive-through. It's easier to pick up a bucket of fried chicken and bring home, or order through DoorDash now, or order a pizza to be delivered, or get a frozen meal and pop it in the microwave. People aren't taking time to buy ingredients and then cook the meal because, number one, it takes time to shop for the ingredients. Number two, it takes time to prepare the meal. So people are getting lazier. They want instant gratification. So it's time and convenience. And a lot of times they think the price, it's cheaper to buy the prepared meal than to prepare it themselves, when that is not true. So those three things right there, if you just think about it logically, you'll start eating healthier. And again, what's your priority? If you want to be healthy, make those choices.
Well, there is a little problem, David. We live in the age of internet where information is available and a lot of false information is given that pursues just a commercial purposes, where, say, book like yours, Jaded Health, would give a proper, systematic way, a formula that actually can be followed to get that result that people desire. How much can we trust information on internet?
You have to be very careful because one expert will say one thing, a second expert will say that first expert is wrong, and a third expert will say, no, the first two are wrong. So you have to be careful. I'm a former lawyer, so I'm trained to do research and to sit through the opinion from the fact, from the, false statements and the honest statements. Right now on Amazon alone, there's over 50,000 books on health, weight loss, nutrition, and fitness, not to count the numerous magazine articles that are available. So again, when you break it down, just obey nature's laws. If you just follow those 9 simple golden rules, everything will be fine. It's when people attempt to speed up the process, they want it to be convenient, they want the magic pill, the magic injection. It doesn't work. It's all temporary.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm saying,
I would write,
yeah.
sorry, Dave, I would write out on a piece of paper those 9 golden rules and stick it on the fridge.
It's funny because I gave a person I met at a networking event the 9 simple golden rules. I emailed it to them and they put it on the refrigerator. I saw them a couple months later and I said, hey, I lost 15 pounds just looking at it and reminding myself to do those little simple things.
Well, David, thank you for sharing your knowledge, for being here, for being you, and for your commitment for making this world more enjoyable. I also
Thank you.
Everyone who joined us today. And if you found this episode valuable and know someone who could benefit from it, please share it with them by sending the link to this video. On this note, Well, I would like to congratulate you on your new book, and I hope to see you again on our show, David.
Thank you so much.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you won't miss any of the new episodes. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions, please put them below the video. I do read them. If you are looking for a good, reliable source of specific ingredients, experts, services, or products, click on the resources link under this video. To health, long life, and pleasure.